Savio. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. This is your boy Savio Juice.
And I'm Megan.
And in this video, we are going to do something different.
Really?
Yeah. So I was just looking up on the internet for coronavirus news. I've been seeing how well Kerala, how they have been doing with this coronavirus and how they have been dealing with it. So it seems like they have flattened the curve and they do not have any more deaths. They have fairly done well as compared to a lot of places in the world actually. And considering the big population India has, it's very commendable how they have dealt with this whole situation. So as far as I know, they just have 4 deaths so far, and I could be wrong, but from what I've read so far is that Kerala was the first place to have seen coronavirus in India, and now they just have like 4 deaths ever since this pandemic started. Yeah, so it's because of how well the government of Kerala has reacted to this whole situation, and also how well people have been following the rules and regulations set by the government. So I came across this video on the internet, on YouTube specifically. The name of the video is How Kerala Fought Coronavirus. So that is what we are going to take a look at in this video. This is more of an informative video for us, like on what they did and more on what they did right and what they did wrong. But I don't think they did anything wrong, but it's more of how they dealt with this whole situation. So I want to learn about what they did specifically. Let's just take a look at the video and then we'll have a discussion right after. Yeah?
As the country is battling coronavirus, the government has now extended the lockdown, indicating that we have a long fight ahead of us. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's important to highlight that we as a country can emerge from these dark times. Let's show you the example of the state of Kerala, which was the first state to report a case of coronavirus in the country,
was right.
but has now flattened the curve. How exactly have they done that? Well, a lot of indications are that the state government, the government led by Pinarayi Vijayan, has been very successful in arresting the spread of coronavirus in the state of Kerala. And that's why at this crucial stage, when we're seeing a spike in cases across the country in the state of Kerala, the number of recoveries actually exceeds the number of active cases of coronavirus. So how exactly has Kerala managed this feat? How have they managed to flatten the curve in the spread of coronavirus? Well, the Pinarayi Vijayan government immediately acted as soon as the first case of coronavirus came to light. A robust response team was put together comprising of 30,000 health workers who worked day in and day out to ensure that they do not allow the coronavirus crisis to go out of hand. We have to also keep in mind that Kerala has a very sound public healthcare system, and that too worked in the state's favor. So let's tell you exactly how Kerala managed to ensure that the number of coronavirus cases do not rise in the state. The first is aggressive testing. Now the state government ensured that they put up testing points across the state, particularly at the district level, at the local level, so that anyone who travelled abroad or had any travel history prior went ahead and confirmed it to the authorities and got themselves tested. Particularly in the northern districts of Kerala, where there was a surge of coronavirus cases, the government focused on ensuring adequate testing in these areas, and that's why Kerala has the most number of tests conducted so far across the country. This was followed by a very elaborate contact tracing exercise. Any person who tested positive for coronavirus would then be spoken to by the government authorities. They'd be asked about places that they went to, about people that they interacted with, anyone who they came in contact with. The government then had a very clear mechanism put in place to identify all of these people, bring them in, and ensure that they too were tested. Another step that the government took was in ensuring quarantine facilities. What the Kerala government noticed was that 14 days wasn't enough. Yes, the norm at this point is 2 weeks of isolation, 2 weeks of quarantine. But the Kerala government realized that in asymptomatic patients, some of them showed symptoms even after 14 days. So then they ensured that the quarantine period was also extended. they also provided facilities. These were shelters that were put up to ensure that people who were quarantined did not come in contact with any other locals in the state of Kerala. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the migrant labourers' plight during this lockdown across the country. In Kerala, that issue too was addressed because the Pinarayi Vijayan government had announced a lockdown much before in the state, which meant that movement was largely restricted. Immediately, they ensured that migrant labourers were taken care of. They ensured that shelters were put up for these labourers so they would have no reason or find any reason to really leave their homes and flee to other states. So these were steps that the Kerala government took.
That's
Now
impressive.
this coupled with the fact that there were several NGOs, several groups and organizations that came together, joined hands and provided facilities to the poor and needy, ensured that every part and every person in the state of Kerala was taken care of. These NGOs played a huge role in ensuring adequate distribution of food to the poor and the needy, particularly during the lockdown. Now, all of these steps combined has ensured that Kerala has been very successful in tackling the coronavirus crisis. And that's why you also see that the number of cases has dropped by 30% in the first week of April when you compare it to the last week of March. It took just about 6 days for the number of cases to rise from 200 to 300. That's a rise of 100 cases in 6 days. And after that, the government has been successful in ensuring that the cases drastically come down. And that's why it's been just about 75 cases since then. So in about 12 days, 75 cases have been reported in Kerala, and that itself shows you how successful they have been in ensuring that the crisis of COVID-19 doesn't really deter them in any way. What's also interesting to note is that there's been a 52% increase in fact, the recoveries of COVID-19 patients in the state of Kerala, and that's the highest in any state in the country. So all of these accomplishments have been credited to the Pinarayi Vijayan government, and this is now popularly being termed as the Kerala model, which many are talking about and perhaps also talking about replicating it on a larger scale and nationwide as
Very
well.
good.
Now, countries like the
proud of that.
United States and the United Kingdom are in worse shape. But the reason India is worrying is because of the population density. And once this crisis goes out of hand, it will struggle to really contain the spread of coronavirus. And that's where perhaps the Kerala model can also be emulated in ensuring that the spread of coronavirus is immediately arrested across the country.
Now I know how. It's pretty impressive how
Yeah.
they dealt with this whole crisis. Like,
Really impressive.
I think so. I don't know if you know this, but Kerala is actually called God's own country, and rightfully so. Now you have a few reasons to believe that, and I think it all comes down to actually having mutual respect towards each other. I think that is what is lacking in most parts of the world, but that is what the Keralites, the people who live in Kerala, are something that are taught growing up, and that is inculcated in them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they have mutual respect for not just each other, but also for the government. And I think that is what really put this whole thing into effect. Like, so it was a combination of all factors. Like, first of all, like they mentioned, and like I said in the beginning, that Kerala was the first state to report coronavirus in India. But the very fact that the government responded immediately, that contributed on a bigger scale. And not just that, the people respect the government over there.
Yeah.
So they listen to the government's rules and regulations, and they just basically stayed in, and they observed the lockdown properly. And also the NGOs, they came to the rescue. I think they haven't been given enough credit, and I'm so glad that I watched this video, because I did not know that NGOs played a big and vital part in making the situation better in Kerala. They have my respect. Like, doctors and nurses and those who are fighting on the front line, it's their duty, because they have sworn an oath to do it. It's their job. But NGOs, they are doing it voluntarily. So they have my immense respect.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, basically what you said, it kind of opens my eyes to what we didn't do in the US and why it got so out of hand, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's impressive that many people were volunteers around the clock right away to get it under control.
Correct. I think that is one thing that the other states in India have been facing is the problem of migrants. So what is happening in other states is that the migrant people, they are, because of the situation getting so out of control, they want to go back home. And the government in other states, I mean, I could be wrong, but I hope I'm not offending anyone here, but the government in other states haven't taken enough measures to keep the migrants where they are. And I think that is what the government did right in the state of Kerala.
Yeah.
Like, they made sure that the migrants do not have a reason to leave the state. Like, they fed them well, they gave them shelter. And I don't know if you noticed, but even some of the small clippings that they showed, like, it just showed you how well they executed this. Like, even the beds that they had in the shelter, like, they were like more than 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
They did an amazing job of, like, making sure that even the migrants, even in the quarantine facility or in the shelter facility, they made sure that all the people are, like, keeping 6 feet distance away from each other. So it was properly executed. Pinarayi Vijayan, he's the chief minister of Kerala, and he did an amazing job. He can only do so much, right? If people do not listen to the government's orders, then the whole effort is basically being flushed down in the toilet.
Yeah.
So it's impressive how they, not just the government but also the people, dealt with this whole crisis.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, I think that is one thing that is lacking, not just in US, like, throughout the world. There's always that one person who thinks that, oh, coronavirus is not about me.
Yeah.
And it only takes one person to break the chain.
Yeah.
So I think that is what people should learn from the state of Kerala. Like, it all boils down to mutual respect, respecting not only each other but also the government, because they know that whatever the government is doing is for their own good.
Yeah.
So that was it for this video, and let us know in the comment box below what you think about this video and what you think about this crisis, and what are the other things that may not have been mentioned in this video of the news channel that you think contributed to this containment of coronavirus in Kerala. Let us know in the comment box below what you think, and that was it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, time out. If you guys like this video, you guys know the drill. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon notification button so you don't miss any other update. And if you guys have more such videos, please do send them our way. All of the details will be in the description box below.
And don't forget to check out our other videos and follow us on social media.